Hi everyone, and welcome to Political Forum. I'm Mike Jacobson. This is your chance, a very special edition of Political Forum. This is your chance to learn more about candidates for mayor of Chicago. Joining us today, Dr. Willie Wilson.
Good. How you doing?
Good to see you today.
You too.
Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, no problem.
All right, folks, so now this is your opportunity. If you have a question, comment, or concern for Dr. Willie Wilson, the number's at the bottom of the screen. 312-738-1060. That's 312-738-1060. And I'm going to show you, too, that we are streaming this in a couple different ways. If you want to, you can go to Facebook, and here we are. Look at these two good-looking gentlemen right here. There we are right there. And we're also on our website, too, cantv.org/hotline. So there's many different ways that you are able to connect with us by just, other than just calling in. So, all right, so let's get this started.
All right.
A week away, right?
Yeah,
a week away.
Day. Right, absolutely.
So you ran, the last time you ran for mayor, you came in third.
12% of the vote.
With 12% of the vote, right?
Yep, 4 weeks ago.
So now this is a little different situation. You're walking into a tougher situation. There's a lot of things that people are upset about, whether it's crime, whether it's policing, whether it's taxes, whether it's schools, whether it's pension.
Yeah.
What do you handle first if elected?
Well, I have to correct you, is when I get elected.
Absolutely.
Well, obviously crime is the highest priority on the list. The way we have to deal with that. The second would be open schools back up that were closed down, some of them anyway. And the next point would be taxes. All right, and so mine's in the area of taking care of crime is putting economic development, contracting job within those particular 8 communities. But I would say put them in 7 community equality, contracting job, and parity. All 7 communities. Because once you start slighting one community, then you're going to be starting to get problems. So let's take the tax dollars that come in here, federal dollars, et cetera, and the tax dollars you do and put the base to that. And when you put the base to that, then those dollars reflect in those communities. Because as a person who have a job, there's no need to go out and sell drugs. We got a lot of people out of jail. A lot of them young men's in jail. We got them out, and young lady. Then sometimes go right back and find them back in jail. And they say, well, Doc, just give us a job. We don't have $100 to get out here. We've been sitting here a whole year. The misdemeanor and nonviolent, right? So we would make sure that get a bill passed the first day we get in there, that all 7 community get its fair portion of the tax dollar base that come in the city of Chicago. I think after you get that done, then you create different trades. Work with the union, work with the people at the city of Chicago, and work with the buses, the cars, and teach kids how to do it. Put trades in schools, community centers, churches, and then they have a foundation. That's going to help better that.
Okay, so this is great because you said that you were a person who's on the record saying enough is enough when it comes to a mayor ignoring minority communities. Yeah. And so this is what you're talking about right here.
Exactly right.
So let's talk about what a lot of people are calling the political machine, the Chicago machine. The Chicago politics that's been going on for years and years, and a lot of people say that type of politics is leaving out a lot of people's voices.
Absolutely right. This is why you see today, I put in close to, I don't know, maybe $2 million of my own money here. We didn't get out here and get somebody to give us $100,000 or $1 million. I'm the only candidate that used its own dollars and resources from not being bought. If you take Tony Prepwinker, the union gave her a couple $1 million plus. Well, what did she owe those unions back in return for it? All right? You take Bill Daley, and you take everybody else. What do you got to give in return for $100,000 or $1 million or $200,000? I refuse to do that. We take our own money and put it in there so we're not bought. My thing, you look at the Bible, say you can't serve 2 masters. So these are the guys got to go to the people who gave them the money first. If they got to make a decision that is not in their best interest, then they can't do it.
So now that we're so close to election day, polls are still showing that there's about a quarter of people, quarter of voters, 25% still undecided.
That's correct.
That's a game changer. We have so many people running
Yeah.
for this post at 25%. So how are you taking that news as an opportunity? What are you trying to do?
Well, people today, in my opinion, smart. A lot of the particular, let's deal with segment here. Let's deal with the African American population, which is my base. All right. So, having said that, my base over here, we got a lot of other particular candidates, particularly from the African American community, is in the race, don't have the money and out here to do what they need to do to be in the race. So there's other sources out here that put the money that put them in the race have sliced off the vote. That's how the game played. But my whole thing is that now that I work on my base, we've been in all 7 communities in Chicago. We're getting a lot of white support, Latina, support, Asian support, and we've been working those communities. And those communities now responding. People look at the poll, and I've done my poll too, all right? But also people done separate polls than I done, all right? They're showing up pretty much a dead heat, all right? But the thing about it, they're trending my way though. Those undecided vote, it's very much trending my way.
So that actually now leads to my next question. In the 2016 presidential election, about 12% of voters in Chicago voted for President Trump. So there are some Republican voters here. You do have some backing of some Republican groups. So would you say then that that you would be considered conservative, Republican? How would you call it? And how do you get? And are you expecting to get those votes too?
Well, they pledged it to me. They came to me and asked. I said, look, I don't care whether you're Republican or Democratic, right? I voted, by the way, for Bruce last time, and I voted for Trump as well. That's not popular into the African American community. Now, I've been Democratic pretty much all my life, but the value of it is this here, is that if you're Republican and you for not raising taxes, I'm a Republican. If you're Democratic, you for not raising taxes, I'm a Democratic. Right? I go with the people, whoever label you happen to be. I think both Democratic, Republican, and get a good idea. The Libertarian, they going to support me today. So we're coming over. Congressman Danny Davis just came aboard as well, right? And I just had a press conference this morning. A lot of the lead minister endorsed me this morning. Now, after I leave here, I'm going to this Soul Slate they call. They're going to endorse me this evening. Right? So we're trending real well, But I don't look at we look when I get in office. Part of the administration would be reflect Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, and any other organization out here. They'll hold those key positions. We work things out together.
I think because you just mentioned in the answer, and I think a lot of people maybe want to know. So you said that you did vote for Rauner and that you did vote for Trump in the past election. So are you looking back, crystal ball? Now you're able to look, hindsight 2020. Are you happy with your vote, or would you change the vote?
No, I think when people ask me that, I say look at what they did. A lot of people voted for Ron Emanuel, who covered up the trial of Laquan McDonald killed 16 times. People voted for that. Everybody knows he covered it up. All right. My whole thing is that I believe a person is regardless of what the party. It's not Democrat against Republican, police against the citizens of Chicago. We all are entitled to life, liberty, and happiness and everything else. That's what we have to focus on. Look, I don't agree with everything me and my wife do. We don't agree with everything, all right? We understand we both may make mistakes, And look, we may make mistakes on who we vote for, but that doesn't mean that person doesn't have some good in him, So, no, my whole situation was right during that period of time, and let me add this to it too. There is a lawsuit right now, we in right now with the Democratic Party. I ran for president of the United States. During the same time, I was running. I wasn't even allowed to be on the same stage with the Democratic Party. We would block out of 75% of the country from even getting on the ballot. You know, we sued in Mississippi, but if we sued in Mississippi, we went to the Supreme Court in Mississippi. They got me on the ballot down there. So today we're doing that so they don't do it for nobody else. They treat me way better than they did Bernie Sanders. You know, they refused to even let me get on the whole thing. But that happened all during that same time. Now, if we had, but I've given a lot of money to the Democratic Party, you know, but when you got ready to run, it was a whole different thing. So you look at it two ways. But no, I don't say I regret anything I've done. We make the best decision that we have with what we have at the present time.
All right, folks, do you have a question or comment? Come on, call in. The number is 312-738-1060, 312-738-1060. And in fact, we have our first caller of the show. Caller, are you there? Do you have a question or comment?
Yes, I do.
We're ready for it.
Okay, yeah. My question is for the Dr. Wilson. Is a man of his humility and stature running for mayor in the city of Chicago, knowing that the city of Chicago has been labeled as number one among the mobsters and the criminals, crime-running people of the city, how could he humble himself if they came to him with a proposition? You know, for example, like Ed Burke and his criminal mind, how would he respond if he's approached like that? Because he appears to me to be a very earnest, honest, humble man. And knowing right now that Chicago has been noted as number one among crime and mobsters, out of all the cities in Chicago, how would he deal with that? You know, he's saying right now in the campaign that he's going to do all these supportive things, and he says that he's not going to even accept a salary. But the reality of the criminal minds that run the city, how would he do if he's approached to become like the rest of them?
Wonderful. Thank you for that question. So for those who might not have heard it, how do you work with city council? How do you work with city officials when you're dealing with crime? Crime is a big issue in this city. There's a lot of crime that's happening. So the caller wanted to know, how do you work on solutions, not only that you want, but also city council wants, and also that city administration officials want?
Well, first of all, the first day I get in office, I will pass a bill that says all seven communities in the city of Chicago has to have the same equality with contracts and job and parity within the city hall. Yeah. So nobody not going to vote against not getting money back to their community proportionally. You got to get it become law first. When that law comes in place, then we enforce the law. We set up an independent group with lawyers and accountants and citizens of Chicago to make sure every 3 months that each department get audited and those things would follow through. Now, so if somebody walk in here today and put $10 billion on the table in front of me, I wouldn't take it. You know, let me back up. I wouldn't take it for myself.
Right.
I would give it to the community to create jobs and get the homeless off the street, help save people home property tax and things of that nature. So that way we would deal with that. But when you're out here seeing all the people that suffer and can't get ahead, you cannot just sit around and say, I got my money, I'm going to go and do something else. That ain't how I'm made. Right. I have to do something to get any help.
So it looks like we have another caller, but before that, I just want to follow up because I think another part of this question is like, when elected, coming into office, you're going to be dealing possibly with some councilmen, some wards, some aldermen, alderwomen who've been around a long time.
Yes.
And they're deeply rooted in Chicago, and they have their ways, so to speak. And so I think part of the caller's concern is how do you jump over that, get over that. Yeah.
Well, somebody got to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I made it June the 16th, 70 years old. I've never failed in my life in anything that my heart desired. Never have. I only have a 7th grade education. I ran away from home at age 13. Right, we created a company that does today from 20 cents per hour back then to does a little bit over $62 million a year in business, international. We learn to work with people regardless of whether you Republican, Democrat, Alderman, et cetera, et cetera. You get in there, you work hard, make things work. But the thing that have got to be done, work with the Alderman, you got to work with that community. You know, if you fail to work with that community, then you fail. Because that community is going to straighten out those aldermen. You know, what happened right now, the community been left out. And the present mayor have bought off all the aldermen. And so that's what done happened now and depressed the community. We'll get it done. I feel very confident.
Power of the vote.
Yes.
Okay, so looks like we have another caller. Caller, question or comment for Dr. Willie Wilson?
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi. So firstly, thank you for taking my call. And thank you to CAN TV for doing a millennial issues channel. I feel like a lot of channels and networks have sort of ignored the millennial perspective, so I appreciate CAN TV for offering us this opportunity. My question to Dr. Wilson specifically was, I have a 2-year-old who's going to be starting school soon, and one of my concerns is the rise of charter schools in place of quality public education. And I think that those schools sort of siphoning money away from public schools and preventing them from doing good work for local neighborhood kids who aren't necessarily gifted. So I wanted to know how you feel about expanding charter schools in the city and your thoughts generally on public education.
Good. My thought on charter school, I believe that everybody have a right and freedom to go to any school they decide they want to attend to, number one. And by the same token, everybody have a right to receive the proper resources within their community as well, right? And that's when you come back to these tax dollars is not, resources not going into certain community in the city of Chicago, all right? So then they said, look, I didn't get a good education, but we was able to make it to life. I make more than what a school teacher make, all right? But we work hard, we figure this thing out. I would put the resources into the regular public school just as well as they put resources in the charter school. If you notice right now, the charter school is on strike right now, all right? So we will put the resources in the public school as the same as they put it in the charter school, because I understand, if I understand it right, charter school is also receiving the dollar from Chicago as well, right? Mm-hmm. So look like to me, you may call it charter now, but I also saw, I think last week, the union from the public school had joined hand in hand with the charter people there, all right? But I'd say go to whatever school you want to go to, but put the resources there. We got good teachers from every neighborhood, every nationality that is out there, but they don't have the resources. And some of the neighborhood, particularly the African American, Latina area that is very, very poor, the school teacher got to go in their pocket and buy the kid book. Most times the kids that come to the public school and neighborhood, they don't even have food to eat. So they come to school to get 2 meals a day, you know. Okay, so because the resources, the money not getting back over there. So we'll make sure that the resources get into the public school, pay our teachers the right way, take care of some of those pensions that way behind, just as we do in the charter school or some of the other schools. Equal opportunity, job, contract, position in those schools is what got to push in there. You can't stop people from doing what they want to do, but certainly you can have the law and apply the law, make it equally. If you had the resource and the dollar, our school teachers and things like that would be just as sharp as anybody else. We'll make sure that the resources get over there.
All right, looks like I have about 5 minutes left in the show, and it looks like we have another caller. Caller, are you there? Question or comment?
Yes, this is Minister Robert Floyd Trump, and I wanted to know, what do Dr. Willie Wilson is going, or how is he going to demonstrate with peace in Chicago, love, unity, marketing people?
Okay, so so really taking back the city for the voters. How do you restore community? How do you restore, the goodwill? That Chicago's heart. That Chicago's had, for years and years. How do you help restore it?
Well, look, if you look at my heart, what I would have done, we've been giving. We're giving, millions of dollars to help people out of jail, save people home, feeding the homeless and things of that nature. The reason I run for this job right here because I can do so much more. All right? We take that same spirit within to the mayor's office and turn that, making sure that those contracts, everything, is resources get right back in those communities that they have not got back into it. We wouldn't take the $8.5 billion at O'Hare and then the $2 billion from Chinatown walk to put it back in Chinatown to that's $10.5 billion without taking at least $2 billion of those dollars, putting in those neighborhoods that need to be brought up to par. Right? We'll make it become law, like I said, and then vote on it and have somebody oversees it and make sure they're getting their resources by auditing every 3 months, so nobody really left behind. I don't think it's so much that there's a lot of tension and races in Chicago as opposed to a lack of communication. Right. All right? And so we'll bring people together by doing those type of things. It can be done. I get white vote, Latino vote, Asian vote by going out there talking to the people. We were way up north the other day and told the white community, and they said, "I'm glad you came. Nobody even come over here to see about us."
Okay, so it looks like we have about 3 minutes left. We're going to do something rapid fire, because I got a lot of questions here we got to get to, so I need some rapid fire answers. Okay, number one, all the schools, the schools that closed, 50 and some odd schools that closed, would you reopen them or would you keep them closed, the CPS schools?
I would reopen some of those schools, but I would turn around and build smaller schools. Because a lot of people out of the community, all right? And we'd take those old schools and turn them into business and trade, stuff of that nature.
The parking meters that people are paying right now, that it's private, that a lot of people say they're being overcharged. A lot of people say when they get those tickets that the tickets are worth tens of dollars more than the actual ticket itself to get in the spot. Would you keep the parking system the way it is, or would you change it?
Well, we'll work on changing it. We cannot break contract that's already in place 99 years. All right, but we certainly have a lot of land and stuff like that we can have people to park in and then make it competitive. People come down those prices.
Mental health facilities, when Rom closed them in about 2013, are you willing to reopen them to help mental health services in the city?
Not only will we reopen them, we'll allow the people opportunity to go in their community and the hospitals around the city where they live at in order to get treatment for mental health. They shouldn't be more than 9.
Speed cameras. Speed cameras and also red light cameras. A lot of people are really upset about that. A lot of them, they say, are happening in communities that are being picked on, and they really shouldn't even be there. What's your take on speed cameras? Keep or leave them?
I got to take it myself, get rid of them. I got to take it myself, all right, in terms of the red light thing. But I think there's certain areas and things in there, but you get rid of them because they're there for the poor. They're not there what they're meant to be. I don't like red light camera. I think people get the card, but boot also should be stopped. Yeah.
Financial literacy. You are a testament to financial literacy. A person, as you said, who had a 7th grade education. Look at you are now. Financial literacy for the community. Something that it's needed or not needed.
Very much needed. So you need to understand the financial. A lot of people and kids in our community don't know how to count money. When I had that particular McDonald's, they were so used to in terms of the computer. And so one day my computer broke down. I said, "Why are you guys sitting there?" They didn't know how to count the money.
Our last question, we have about 30 seconds left. How are you going, this is kind of just like sums up your whole campaign, how are you going to move the city forward?
Well, we're going to move it in by getting that first bill passed, equal opportunity, equality for all citizens of Chicago, and we're going to get in there and make sure that the administration reflects Chicago, and we're going to work together. I don't have all the answers, but I do know this, every community is going to be inclusion.
Well, Willie Wilson, I'm going to quickly show people the ways that they can contact you, learn more about you. They can go to williewilsonformayor.com. You can learn a lot about this sir right next to me about the issues, about learning more about him himself and a lot of the issues. There's a lot of things to learn. Just go to williewilsonformayor.com. How about that? That was a quick show. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, Dr. Wilson. And thank you all for calling in and for watching. I'm Mike Jacobson. You've been watching Political Forum, brought to you by CAN TV. Tune in next time. Until then, everyone have a great day.